Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the garden. All right, we are sitting right here close to the end of May, and it is about time for us to do our end of May garden tour, right? We have started here on the front, as always, looking at our absolutely awesome and beautiful Fire Chief arborvitaes. Let me show you. They have grown up so huge, and I refuse to prune them. Can I tell you? I love the shaggy nature of them. I just love that shaggy, misbehaving yet formal look in the garden. Love their tips. Okay. They have grown so much since last season. Okay, moving on to our containers that we have on the driveway. All right, the little lime hydrangeas. It's all right. It's all right. Just run down to the bottom. There's a wasp flying by, and I have my son beside me, and he's afraid of wasps. So you're gonna hear him in the background going. All right, but he is good. I'm telling him that it's all right. He's as afraid of wasps as mommy is afraid of snakes, right?
If you run away from them, they'll get you.
All right. So, sorry. Back to the little limes. I'm sorry. The limelight hydrangeas. Limelight hydrangeas in containers grow in beautifully. All right. This is the one. I don't know if you remember her from last year, child. This is now a beast of a hydrangea. And I know that I have to be prepared for her to be flopping a lot when she's in bloom, because she's going to be very heavy, and she's already tilting to this side. Here is another planting of hydrangeas here in containers. All right, and then our lower pedlums. Lower pedlums are still alive. They're still surviving, people. Now, I don't know if this will help you to identify what variety it is. Again, remember, we had purchased these. They were just in black nursery containers, no label or anything. All right. It's now later in the season, mid-May, and the leaves are now starting to turn green. All right, like, oh, but the new growth is coming up nice, and has that nice purple color that attracted me to the lower pedalum in the beginning. So I'm not quite sure if this is the green of the leaves, or if that's just a natural way that the plant colors up for the summer months, or if it's an indication that, hey, Naomi, you need to give me some more water or something. All right, any of my lower pedalum experts out there seeing this lower pedalum, let me know. All right, moving on to the colors. My babies are still beside me. They're holding on to me so tight, people. Do you hear them? Hold on one second. All right, on to the colors. All right, remember our color theme this season, purples. Look at my purple babies. All right, this is the Tibucina plant. Let me show you one of the buds that are about to open, and tell me if you don't find this so attractive and just so beautiful. Look at how shiny and purple those petals are before they unfold. Isn't that just gorgeous? And then this is the flower itself. I know I show you in almost every video because I'm so in love with this plant. Love it. All right. And then beside it, we've got our petunias. Now, I don't know if you remember, so this basket we planted like a month ago, right? My first summer baskets. And in the center of the petunias, which you cannot see now, let me tell you, there's a boxwood hiding in there. When I did the planting originally, the boxwood was a nice little center stage. But now the petunias have grown up and completely covered the poor boxwood. So I'm hoping the boxwood's going to be fine until the end of the season, right? Oh, my poor boxwood. Right, but the flowers from the petunia are absolutely gorgeous. The only thing that I don't like about the petunias is that I've realized I have to deadhead them. That's a real thing, deadheading petunias, and I don't like doing it when the after the rain, when they're all wet. Ooh, it has the weirdest feel when they're wet, but when they're dry, it's all good. Ooh, look at this color right here. Tell me you are not loving on that color. Tell me you're not loving it. I am loving it. All right, the little purple was not even needed. Remember, we had put a purple in the center. The purple wasn't needed, people. No, because this old lady is going to just cover her up. But still looking cute, and we got that little splash of purple there to keep in with our theme. All right, coming on down to the geraniums. The geraniums have started to bloom again. Yes. For a moment there, I had nothing but foliage. Getting fatter and bigger and greener foliage and no blooms. Then you know what I did? I started to fertilize them with the Miracle-Gro Bloom Booster fertilizer. And child, well, you can see it yourself right there, right? You see the evidence of it? my babies started to bloom again. I was like, stop it. I just wasn't feeding them. Okay, look at this. These are new buds about to open. Isn't that just gorgeous? Let me show you a flower here. Loving it. All right, and let's see, pull back. Let me turn around for a second. And this is a similar planting of containers that I just showed you on the right. We have the same containers on the left, so that everything's nice and balanced. We have the hydrangeas there. We have the lower pedalum. And then we have the blooms with all the purples. And again, the geraniums are starting their bloom phase again. So we're good. Oh, look at this one. I didn't show you this color. This color has the purple. Isn't it nice, right? Loving it. All right. Okay, let's walk around through to the back garden before the sun hits us back there. Look at this limelight. I'm kind of getting used to their nature now, where they drop their inner leaves or they turn yellow. I realize it might not be something I'm doing. It's just that the plant likes to do that. Right? Yeah, blame it on the plant, right? Stop it. Okay, this area was working really good. This is the spot where I'll pull back so you can see it. I don't know if you remember me standing. We stood in front of this spot last year this time, and I was trying to explain it to you without you having actually seen the colors and the plants growing. Let me pull back a little bit more because I don't think you're seeing it yet. Hold on, because I can't see it yet. It means you can't see it yet. All right, do you see it now? We have, pulling back a little bit more so I can kind of get it. There you go. All right, this area has filled in, is going to fill in beautifully. We have on either side, we've got the knockout roses, the red knockout roses. In between the, what's that, emerald green arborvitae, this very center one, it is flanked on either side by two, what's that word? Who's that rose again? Claire Austin, the white rose. One's in bloom now, the other is newly planted as a bare root. And the newly planted bare root is as tall as the one that I've had in the ground for 2 seasons now. Can you imagine? But all right, we'll get into that another time. And then the yellow that you're seeing right in the center, at the center forward, that is the poet's wife. All right, so hey people, it's working, can I tell you? So now we only need to still, as I mentioned last season, we still need to figure out a purple. I still need to figure out a purple for this bed that will just bridge or pull everything together. Right? What do you think? Do you like it? Yeah, it's growing in. Give us another year and then you'll totally see where my thought process was going with that one, right? Loving it. Okay, let's take a look at the outside. Let's look at the outside of the garden and see what the roses here are doing. Okay, the first one that we passed is going to be the new love of my life. I'm just waiting for her to bloom. This is Gentle Hermione that we got in bare root this season. Look at the growth on Gentle Hermione. She has grown better than any of my bare roots so far this season. All right, I don't know if it's because she knows that I'm so in love with her. I was in love with this rose just looking at it in its bare root form. It was just so attractive and so beautiful. And now she has sprung up so healthily, and she is covered with buds to come. All right, so we are going to get to see her flower, and I'll definitely show you her once she does flower. Right, absolutely awesome. Okay, all right, so we are again looking at the outside of the fence. I do apologize, my kids are with me while I'm doing this tour, right? And so they're distracting me every now and again. I'm like, baby, stop it. All right, let's see. So we've got right in front of us, we have the new planting of Shirley's Bouquet that we just got from Grace Roses. All right, and believe it or not, we got buds, people. Stop it. What? All right, so we're going to keep baby in this little one. And behind the new planting on the inside of the fence, we have got Princess Alexandra of Kent. That's the pink that you're seeing back there. All right, can walk it down. The little shaggy, do you remember earlier in the season we did some coreopsis? We divided the coreopsis that we had at in the back garden. Listen, all the plantings of coreopsis that we did, they're growing. Stop it. I kid you not. All right, they look like little weeds right now, but next year they're going to fill out, and eventually I'm hoping that they're going to encapsulate the containers with the little giant arborvitaes. So that is going to be looking cute. Right here, that purple, this is Twilight Zone. Let me take you in close to Twilight Zone here. Oh, newly planted last season as a 1-gallon container from Heirloom Roses, and absolutely gorgeous. Worth the wait. I cannot wait for this rose to mature and to get into her own. If she's giving me this right now as just a little baby, oh man, can you imagine when the rose is established in the space? She is going to be gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. All right. All right, there we have, besides Twilight Zone, Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin is in between wrapping up, so lots of faded blooms to get deadheaded, and then some new blooms. The pops of yellow are his newer blooms, and the lighter colors are his older blooms. Right. Beside Darwin, that red is the Darcy Bustle. Darcy is so cute. Listen to me. Yesterday I was out here pulling off leaves off of Darcy because of the black spot. But I love her so much, and I'm not taking her out of the garden, you know, because look at that red. How can I be without this? How can I be without this red, people? Look at Darcy Bustle. With all the roses here, my eyes go straight to her because of that color. Ooh, and something cute. So look at Darcy Bustle, and I don't know if you can see those little teeny, flower heads of the incredible hydrangeas starting to set behind her. Ooh, it is going to work, people. It is going to work. Can I tell you? It is so exciting pulling the garden together like this, because I've never had like a set design in mind. It's always one rose at a time, one section at a time. And then when you see it all come together or come in together like this, it's so exciting. Stop it. All right, I turn around. Who's that? That's Enchanted Peace, people. Another planting from Heirloom Roses last year, and now let me tell you, these peace roses are so healthy, so floriferous. Okay, I cannot get the word out for some reason. I'm tongue-tied. They constantly flower. You know what I want to say, right? Constantly flower, always in bloom. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at them. And remember, this is now her first, she started her second year in the garden. She was planted last Memorial Day as a 1-gallon container. Let me pull back so you can see how tall she is. Now standing at almost 3 feet tall and growing. Gorgeous, right? Loving it. All right, and the last one on the run who's not in bloom now is, oh, tell me, Gabriel Oak. Gabriel Oak has wrapped up his second flush. Gabriel is still a little baby on the ground, man. Planted bare root last year. And I don't know if the lack of height that I'm seeing from Gabriel, if that has something to do with rosary plant disease. Because this bed was before him, I had it planted with roses. But we're keeping an eye on him, giving him lots of love. And hopefully he is going to reward me with some height eventually, right? Stop it. All right, looking on the inside. This is the inside of the garden. Look at that peak. Isn't that beautiful? You see what we're working on every day, right? Come on, let's go in and take a look at it. All right, so we're going to walk into the back garden. And now picture this with me, people. This is going to be the light pink of Gentle Hermione. Behind Gentle Hermione that has not grown in yet is Thomas A. Becket. So he's going to be this nice red, right? And then that nice red is going to meet Princess Alexandra of Kent, who is right here. All right, she is still flushing out for us, right? Looking beautiful. Oh, look at that wave. Gorgeous. It's a constant deadheading with Princess Alexandra of Kent, because when she starts blooming, she just doesn't stop until she stops. She just keeps going, which is beautiful, because she smells really good. All right, and beside her is Cardinal. Teeny little Cardinal, waiting for Cardinal to grow up, because Cardinal's blooms are gorgeous. Ooh, here's a big bee. A bloom from, oh man, brain freeze, people. Comte de Chambord. Look, not a perfect bloom because of the whole issue that we had with balling, but Comte de Chambord has some serious potential. No, I kid you not. I came out here yesterday. Don't know if you can see the snipping, all the freshly cut wounds. He was covered in buds, but I knew all of those buds would not open because of the rain that we had. And it's kind of disappointing looking at all of those buds and not getting any blooms, right? So I came in yesterday and I totally stripped off all of his buds, with the exception of 1, 2, 3, 4, hoping that I can get him doing his thing, getting ready to push out fresh buds for us for an early summer blooms. So hopefully we'll be able to see him flower in the space. But he's going to be gorgeous. I know that he's gorgeous, you know. But I just haven't had a chance to enjoy his awesomeness just yet. Look at that weed right there. Look at it. I can grow weeds better than I grow roses, people. Let me tell you. If you want to learn how to grow weeds, you should definitely hit subscribe. Stop it. All right. Eden is doing her thing. This is her older cane that I was able to train. One cane. And that one cane flowered beautifully. Okay. The blooms are ready to be deadheaded now. And I think her blooms were affected by the rain because we've just had constant rain. But what is really beautiful, remember, this is Eden that didn't bloom for us the first year that she was planted. The second year she gave us about six flowers. This year this little lady gave us blooms. Plus, look at this, a new cane that is holding on to all of these buds. What are we talking about, people? What? The wait was worth it, right? She is going to be beautiful. And what I do love, look at the size of this leaf. Her new leaves are larger. What this tells me is that my baby is settling in. Yes, she is settling in and she is going to take over the space soon. But unfortunately, look at that. She's got black spot. Eden, what you doing, man? Yeah, I don't think it's the rose's fault this year. I think it's just all the rain that we've had. Just constant rain, which is good and good, right? So it happens. Plus she's sitting right beside Darcy Bustle, which has black spot and has suffered with it since early in the season. But like I mentioned earlier, I still love Darcy. How can you not love this color? And this rose flowers so well, right? The only thing that's missing from her is the fragrance. But I love her. I do love her. And I'm hoping that with Darcy, do you remember Charles Darwin? We just looked at him on the outside of the fence. His first 2 years with me in the garden. Let me tell you, that rose suffered from black spot like nobody's business. That's like Charles. I remember one season I came in and stripped the poor baby of all of his leaves. I just had stems growing that year. Right? Every day you saw me coming out here pulling off leaves. My neighbors must have been wondering, what's going on with that lady over there, man? All right, but let me tell you. Stripped him, kept him bare of leaves. And his third season, he just got healthier. And this season, I should have shown you him. No black spot to speak of. What? I'm kid you not. So maybe I'm hoping that that's going to be the same with Darcy, that maybe she just needs some time to settle in and get stronger in the space. And then she'll be able to fight the whole issues of black spot. I do know that some gardeners have mentioned that she does have black spot in their garden. But fingers crossed, right? That she's just waiting to get established in mind to start enjoying herself. All right, right here is our incredible hydrangea. These are the incredible hydrangeas that we transplanted from containers and they are growing. Stop it. This one is doing very well. Nice bloom size on these. Look at this. Gorgeous bloom size. Okay, this little baby right here is struggling, but she is alive because she's sending up new growth for us. So I'm encouraged by that, and I'll just give her time, give her the season to get settled in. And the vinicas that we planted are now starting to put on some body. Look, putting on some width. Remember when we planted them, they were single stems. Now they're starting to branch out and do their thing. So they're going to get into their own here in a minute. And outside of the vinicas planted around the Incredibles, look at what we got going on. You see it, right? Yes, you do. Lots and lots of grass. And this horrible one too that just it sets itself in there and then it just spreads all around. I can't stand it. Like a little vine. Oh, I'm going to figure out how to get rid of it here in a minute. All right. Oh, it's warming up, people. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay, the poet's wife. Look at this. This is Astacia Vi that was fully covered with blooms. I have deadheaded her. Most of her spent blooms. We've got a few more buds that we're waiting on for her to push out. Once she pushes out on that, I'll try to cut her back all to one height and then see if she's going to give us a good round of blooms for the summer, if not for the fall. For me, her best blooms are always in the spring. Julia Child, since we saw her last, has decided to push up a lot of growth, right? So this is where she was, where you see her previous blooms. And then these canes, that's all new growth. So this lady's going to put on some height this year, which is beautiful. And I have to show you one thing that is so awesome. Listen, I'm trying to keep this garden tour short, but I always do the whole garden in one go, right? You're like, Naomi, stop it. You know, I don't do the whole garden. I just do little pieces that I like. But look at this. I have to give this rose a shout out. This is Florentina. The Florentina that we just planted about 3 weeks ago. Look at this. 1 bud, 2 buds. What? This rose is going to treat us to a flower. All right. This is good. This is cool stuff. This is a 1 gallon purchase from Heirloom Roses. Right? Getting out of here. It's always an issue getting over Julia Child because she's sitting right in the walkway. I should have thought that through better before I did that planting. And right here, Salis Marner. Right, still wrapping up. I thought he was finished, but he just keeps pushing those buds out from somewhere. It just keeps giving me more flowers, and I appreciate it. He keeps the energy in the space. All right. And looky here. Black diamond crepe myrtles. Gorgeous. Growing beautifully. Now the oddest thing is, look at this. Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5, out of the 6 I have planted, 5 are okay. I lost 1 on this side. Right here. So this side is empty. The one right here, newly planted last year, she survived. So we have that. We have basically, instead of having a full circle, we have a C, right? And it's okay having that C shape because it's now going to allow me access into take care of the climbing rose that we've planted in the center. This planting rose is Tees in Georgia, and let me see if it's Tees in Georgia. Let me think for a moment. Yes, I think it's Tees in Georgia. You ordered Tees in Georgia, Naomi? Yeah, I think it's Tees in Georgia, right? And she has put on a lot of growth. I don't know if she's going to flower this year. I've not seen any buds. Oh, I take it back. I take it back, people. I take it back. Can you see it? There is a bud there. So we will see a bloom from her or 2. All right. And I need to figure out my plan for training them. Initially, I wanted to pillar them. I wanted to get a nice big 4x8 and just a post and just stick it on in there in the back and then train the rows around it. I'll probably still do that. If not, if that turns out to be difficult, then we'll just get a nice little obelisk and train her around that way, right? Yeah, there's always a way to get it done. Hey. These are the Rhythmic Blue hydrangeas, are ready to be deadheaded. Holding up okay to the sun. I kid you not, they're planted back here in full sun. This is my full sun. I'm in the back garden, which is full sun, all day sun, right? But they're holding up in containers. Okay. So no complaints. Salis Marner has wrapped up her first flush. Still has some color sprinkled here and there. Right? Now I want to show you something really cute. Can you see that scenery? Do you see that view? Can you see? Let me see if I can get a little bit bigger. And do you see that, people? This section is working, right? Absolutely loving it. Now the only rose that I'm considering changing in this spot may be Tranquility, because she gives me one nice set of blooms here, maybe in her spring flush, right? But once that is done, she doesn't really give me anything else for the rest of the year, and her blooms do not last long in the heat. They burn. Let me show you. They burn so quickly. Look at this. They brown out on me, and I'm not liking that. She's a floriferous. There's the road. I tried to say that word again, right? She flowers abundantly, but again, only for just that one season. Okay. So we're going to think about what we want to do with this space. Let me show you something cute too. Do you remember the clematis that we planted bare root? They're still growing back there. See those two? Let me take you in and show you. This is one. I should probably now get it something to start weaving on, right? So that's one. And taking her on the other one. This is 2. Luckily I didn't step on her, almost did. Okay, let me get on out of this bed. Whew. It is heating up so fast. I tell you, I kid you not, I'm sweating now, man. I'm sweating, people. All right, Lady of Shalott has joined the party. Look at Lady of Shalott. Woo! This little rose now, she is not as covered as she was last season. But the thing about Lady of Shalott is this. I mean, you see it for yourself. She's just absolutely beautiful. So whatever number of blooms she has, once there is a bloom on her, she just pulls your eye. She becomes a center of attraction. Right? She is gorgeous. Let me take you in so you can see one of her blooms. Isn't she beautiful? Yep. Gorgeous rose. Happy that she's in my garden. Okay. Very happy that she's in the garden. Let me show you something else too. So that's Lady of Shalott, right? Tranquility, and then Septidals. Do you see why I'm thinking Tranquility? I need to do something with Tranquility's bed, because there is no pop beside Lady of Shalott. The white of Tranquility is very quiet, and the pink of his Septidals stands out. So I need to get something in the middle that's going to really pop and contrast on the orange and the pink. And I don't think the white was the right color. I think maybe I need to put a really sharp red there. Okay, that will just totally contrast from the two colors on either side. Right. But back to where we are, almost down to the end of our walk in the garden. This is, I gotta show you. I've paused because I'm hot and I've forgotten his name, so give me just a second to think about it. James Galway. All right, this is James Galway, and James has some buds. Look at that. We are going to get to see him flower. Grown up beautifully, and I think he's ready to be helped up here in terms of training. This cane, his tallest cane is standing right at about 2-3 feet. And look at this, more buds down here on this one. So I'm going to have to go ahead and get him trained in. And the Black Diamond Crepe Myrtles did the same thing. So they've made a C. The one on this end survived, but the one on this side of the garden, on this end, did not survive. So I've now got a C going on, but again, it's okay because it gives me access to the plant that's going to be in the middle. It's so strange, maybe the garden knew that was the way I was supposed to do it, right? So I decided not to, that plant decided not to survive for me. Right now, the planting of the hydrangeas. Hoping that I'm going to be able to overwinter these in containers. Okay, hoping, fingers crossed. And then right beside her is Bosco Bell. Bosco Bell has started her first flush. These blooms are a couple days old. And now right here, this bed belongs to or unknown, which we now know who she is. I got a comment on our last tour that the rose looks like Zephyrin. And when I double checked the David Austin website, I realized, you know what? It really could be the Zephyrin. I think it really is the Zephyrin climbing rose, because David Austin only carries 2 climbers of this color. It's Gertrude Jekyll and Zephyrin, right? And we have Gertrude Jekyll in the rose walk, so we definitely know it's not Gertrude, which means that this is Zephyrin, which means that we have 3 climbing roses grown way too close together, and we're going to have to figure ourselves out here in a minute, in a season or so, what to do with them, right? Yep. All right, let's see. Ooh, look at our planters. Do you remember the post that we did? The annuals in there are growing in. They're finally starting to hit their stride. Take you in. Look at those colors. Again, our purple theme. Loving it, right? So by July, I'm hoping mid-June, July, when I do that garden tour, these planters should be all filled and bursting from the seams with these petunias. Right? Loving it. And there is passing back by everything we just saw a few moments ago. You see it, I'm in the sun now. Hot, people, it's hot. Started working on the sparrows. All right? Maybe on the weekend I'll try again, or keep trying. Okay, we are on the, well, before we go to the rose walk, Desdemona wrapped up her first flush but pushing out a second flush. Right. Okay, and the rose walk looks very different today. The roses that were in bloom a few weeks ago have now been deadheaded, and their flush is it's now quiet on the rose walk in terms of the roses, right? But now look who's getting ready to steal the show. Bam, the hydrangeas, right? These are the Bobo hydrangeas right here. The poet's wife still giving us some color. Ooh, I should show you these before they wilt. Look who's standing out right here. These are the endless summer hydrangeas. Look at how big this head is. This is my hand. I have very big hands. And look at this. Huge heads. They're about to wilt right now because the sun's going to be so hot on them, poor babies. But no burning yet to speak of, which is good. Here's another plantain. Okay. Endless summer hydrangeas are in bloom this year. This is gorgeous. Look at this one. Isn't that just gorgeous? Right? I know this is the spot that I was describing to you. Do you remember earlier in the season when the roses just started blooming, I showed you Crown Princess Margarita. This rose that I had absolutely no idea what to do with. The tangled mess of tangled messes, right? Okay, let me stand a bit in the shade and let me tell you what happened to her. You're like, Naomi, what did you do? Let me tell you, people. I got me some confidence, man. I was on YouTube and watching how to train your climbers, right? Came across a video from Harkness Roses where the gentleman said, hey, remember, you are in control of what your roses do, right? Train it the way you want it to go. I was like, okay, easy for him to say, right? And then I watched another video by Jason from Fraser Valley Rose Farms, right? I don't know if I should call out names like that. I do apologize if I'm not supposed to. Jason, no ill intent there. I just wanted to reference where I've got my information from, right? But let me tell you, I was watching him train a rose, right? And all the rules just went out the window in terms of never cut the main cane and all that good stuff that I had drilled into my mind, right? Guess what he did? He went on in there. He saw a cane that he didn't like, that wasn't going in the direction that he wanted to go. And guess what he did? Baby, he cut it like it was nobody's business. Yes, he did. He cut that cane off and he cut that rose back and he brought it to what he wanted it to be, going in the direction that he wanted it to go. And once I saw that video, let me tell you, I got a boost of confidence, man. I pulled out my pruners and I went after Crown Princess Margaret, poor baby. And this is what she looks like now after that burst of confidence, you know, just exploded in me, yeah? I cut back every cane that was not going in the direction that I wanted it to go. I selected two canes. These are two near canes right here. And I have trained them on, I've tied them into this little trellis that I had, right? And she has a third cane standing here that I left alone. But let me tell you, look, I had her do what I wanted her to do. And although she is a fraction of the size that she was, she's going to be a healthier rose. It's going to be a more attractive space. And thank you, Jason from Fraser Valley Rose Farms and Harkness Roses, for putting out that video, because let me tell you, I was really intimidated by Crown Princess Margarita, right? But now I have something that I think I can control, and now I know when she puts up those canes, start training them immediately, because her canes are by no means flexible. Like Gertrude Jekyll was, she is not that kind of rose. He underplanted, let me just take you down here for one moment. The coleus, you're like, Naomi, coleus? Yes, more coleus. These coleus are special though, because this is a coleus that was given to me by my mother-in-law. Now, you know that you can have some plants die, but let me tell you, when your mother-in-law gives you a plant, you make sure you do everything that you can to ensure that that plant survives. So stop it. All right, love you, mommy. All right, so what we did is we brought these home in midwinter and we propagated them in the house. I got them as cuttings, had them in a little bit of soil and water inside. They grew roots really nicely. From there, I took them out to harden them off, and I've now planted them in the ground. There are 3 right here. 1, 2, and 3. All right, and lots of green thumb love and energy out to them, right? Because once I do my video tour in July, I'm going to have to show really beautiful coleus growing, so that mommy can feel good that, all right, All right, her daughter-in-law knows how to garden, right? Because she is a gardener herself, right? Let me tell you. I'd be embarrassed if you saw me kill coleus now. Stop it. All right. Let me stop talking, people. I love you. It's an absolutely awesome day. It is hot. Thank you for having joined me for another day in the garden, another garden tour, ending on the endless summer hydrangeas before they wilt in this very hot sun. I'll go ahead and give them some water. They're absolutely gorgeous, and you are all absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.